and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all okay, happy, healthy, safe wherever you are in the world. So this is Glute Series episode number 2, and today I wanted to talk all about frequency. I mean, in easy terms, how many times a week should we be training the glutes? Now, I've spoken about this an awful lot in previous videos, and I think at this moment in time as well, because of COVID and people not being in gyms for months and then going back, this necessarily doesn't apply to everyone. It applies to me. I've got quite a old training age, if that makes sense. So I very much so know what I'm doing as a coach, so I can afford to go back in and do 3 lower sessions straight away, which is kind of the optimal of what you want to be doing for the glutes. But you don't have to do that. I would even recommend 2 sessions to start off with. If you're just going back to the gym, 2 lower body sessions is absolutely fine. You don't need to do 3. Again, like I said, it depends on where you are with your training and how you are and things like that. So obviously kind of take a few things with a pinch of salt. I'm basing everything I'm telling you off science and off a lot of researchers and papers and things like that, so it is all legit. But this is before COVID happened, so don't feel the need you have to go in with 3 sessions a week, which is kind of what I'm going to recommend. 2 sessions is still absolutely fine. So something that I see a lot of still is where people recommend to train one muscle group each day. So for example, a chest day, an arm day, a shoulder day, a leg day, and a leg day would incorporate hamstring, quads and glutes all into one. This is great, but I feel like it's not optimal to make significant gains because you'll be hitting one muscle group once per week. Now, I do my sessions as push, pull, lower. Now, push is you're horizontally pushing, for example, chest, shoulders and triceps. That's what a push workout would involve. And then you have a pull session, so imagine you're pulling things vertically, so you have lat pull down, for example, and things like that. And that's back and biceps, and you can include rear delts as well. And my lower sessions, rather than just doing quads, hamstring and glutes all in one session, probably about 1.5 years ago, I changed this so I could split my 3 lower sessions into a glute isolation, solely glute focus workout, a quad focus workout, and then a hamstring and glutes together, so a posterior chain. And I found personally for me, because I was hitting my lower body 3 times and upper body twice, and I do also do like a full body session in there, I felt like my growth was much more substantial from doing this, rather than just hitting like chest once a week and then waiting a whole week to do it again. So I would definitely recommend going down the route of push-pull legs. Also, a side note real quick, oh my gosh, nearly forgot to tell you, my Batch the Gym Challenge enrollment is open on the My Coach School. This is already our biggest challenge yet, and enrollment's only been open for a week. I'm speaking so quick because I'm so freaking excited. There's a whole new workout trainer on the school, and there's going to be more added, and it's going to be a glute specific one for back to the gym, how to work on percentages, how to grow your glutes. I know they're stubborn, we're going to talk about that anyway, but I feel like so many of you will value this program, and it's all on the My Coach School, so you have so many resources. We have 34,000 members and thousands are already signed up and enrolled ready for the challenge. Yeah, I'll leave the link below for you because I'm so freaking excited. Anyway, back to the video. Now, I'm going to briefly touch on the Sra Curve, which is your stimulus, your recovery, and your adaptation. Now, a lot of this information comes from Brett Contreras, who you guys know I followed for ages. I also make an appearance in his book, Glute Lab, which is crazily exciting. So a lot of the findings that I have and research is based around what Brett has also found. Follow him on Instagram, you'll find his content very, very valuable if you don't already. So when you're training, you break down the muscles, which is the stimulus for growth, and this is the S in the Sra curve. And because of this, the part of the muscle that's still able to contract decreases. And then our bodies, because they're super clever, they're then going to rebuild this broken down muscle, and this is the R in the Sra curve for recovery. So after the body is finished rebuilding and in the recovery stage, it'll prevent further breakdown of the muscle by building bigger muscle, and this is the A in the SRA curve known as adaptation. I will pop a graph on the screen for you as well so you can kind of see what I'm explaining to you to make a bit more sense, but it does make sense, the SRA, if you go through it, and I said that super simplistically, so hopefully you can understand. Now, the general rule of thumb is you can train your glutes from 1 to 5 times per week, and I know that is such a broad spectrum, and usually it's recommended 2 to 3 times a week, like I said to you at the start. And the reason for the such big gap is depending on where you are in the SRA curve, and this is because of the such wide variety of choice of glute exercises and glute categories, which I am going to go into briefly for you. The length of the SRA curve is going to differ, so it will differ in terms of you personally how much recovery you need between those sessions depending on what exercises you're doing. So I will hit hamstrings and glutes on a Tuesday. I will then have a complete rest day on a Wednesday. Thursday's my glute isolation, and then I have Friday off doing a pull session, so I'm doing upper, and then Saturday's quads. So I have completely enough rest time for me to recover during my lower body glute workouts. Okay, so the categories of glutes, and I've touched on this before, so I'm going to drill it into you again. Your stretchers, your activators, and your pumpers. So firstly, your stretchers are the exercises that cause the most muscle damage. So think a barbell RDL, a walking lunge, a reverse lunge, when you're really stretched when you're doing those exercises. Now, something really important to remember, and I said this to you in Glute Series Episode 1, because we haven't been back to the gym for a very long period of time, placing high stretch and high demand on the muscles in a highly stretched position is going to create the most muscle damage, so you are going to be really sore. It would be advised not to lift a heavy load when doing barbell RDLs and walking lunges when you first go back to the gym, or completely just take them out of your program. They're not necessarily needed as an exercise straight away, because you have to think about it with muscle soreness. If you are so sore you can't train, it's going to affect hypertrophy and it's going to affect long-term progression. So probably just take them out of your program for a bit, or I personally have just completely reduced the load by around 50%, and I'm just really focusing on mind to muscle connection. Now, activators are going to target growth through mechanical tension and high muscular activation. So this is things like barbell hip thrusts and all their variations, so B stance, glute bridges. Then you also have things like cable pull throughs and cable kickbacks. Finally, your pumper exercises. I always throw them on to the end of my workouts, and this is where you fill the glutes with metabolites. It's basically that balloon feeling you get when you've done a lot of like banded work, so lateral band walks, frog pumps, of a pretty high rep range, usually over like 20 to 30 reps. So just going back to the SRA curve, there is a theory, and this, I feel like this theory is very true. The exercises that create the most muscle damage, this is going to create more length in the SRA curve. Basically, how long it will take you to recover. So if you did heavy barbell RDLs on a Monday, you could literally only be doing them again on like Friday when you feel like you've recovered properly, because they create so much stretch on the muscle. And then the high mechanical tension and the pumper kind of exercises, they're probably quite similar in terms of recovery. But pumpers will be slightly shorter, because usually when you're doing pumper exercises, you're not actually loading the muscles with weight or load. You're usually just using a band. So that's why the range is so big, from 1 to 5 sessions per week, because you could just do pumper exercises for 5 sessions and you could recover pretty well. But you couldn't do 5 sessions worth where there's loads of like barbell RDLs, lunges, and then barbell hip thrust to like 2 to 5 times. That wouldn't work. So an easy way for me to say this to you in terms of, and this is based off kind of like an intermediate trainer, so someone who's been training for like 1 to 2, maybe 3 years. So you'll want to train the stretcher exercises once or twice a week. So your lunges, your RDLs, your Bulgarian split squats, walking barbell lunges, train those 1 to 2 times a week. Your activators you can train 2 to 3 times a week, so barbell hip thrusts, cable pull throughs, cable kickbacks, back extension. So you could even throw a back extension into your pull session if you really wanted to. And then you can train your pumpers 3 to 5 times a week and you'll still be able to recover. So these are your banded glute bridges, your monster walks, your lateral band walks, your frog pumps, your band cha-chas, sideline hip raises. There's so many exercises that you can do for pumpers. And for me, I followed this for around a year now, and I do feel I can recover really well from my sessions. In terms of heavy barbell hip thrusts, and I'm talking like where I'm aiming to work off percentage work and hit PBs, I will do that once per week, but then 2 times more in the week somewhere, there'll be an element of hip extension. So for example, on a Tuesday when I'm doing hamstrings, I might have like a B stance, lighter load hip thrust, or a knee banded lighter load hip thrust. So I have enough time to recover for my heavy ass hip thrust on a Thursday. And then sometimes to finish my quad session on a Saturday, if I feel like it, I will do like a little banded glute circuit, because I have so much rest and recovery between those sessions. I know I can do that, and I know I'm not absolutely fucking myself over, which is the important thing to take away. I know barbell hip thrusts are an amazing exercise, absolutely fantastic, but you can't be lifting heavy barbell hip thrusts or heavy sumo deadlifts or heavy barbell squats for 4 sessions a week. It just wouldn't work. You don't have enough time to recover. When you don't have enough time to recover, you're not going to get the most out of your session. That was a mouthful, but I feel like I really wanted to share this with you so you kind of know, because I get asked the question like, oh, how many times do I need to train my glutes a week and things like that. So I feel like I did wrap it up quite well in that video for you. I mean, let me know in the comments if I didn't. I'll try again. So this was Glute Series episode number 2. Just remember what I said at the start about if you're just going back to the gym, twice a week for glutes is okay. 3 times a week, if you know you can recover from that, is awesome. Big thumbs up. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.